that Clayton was looking for his Nintendo Switch, which was taken away from him when he found the revolver in a safe inside the home.
How did he just get... It was no combination on the safe? Hold on, so he took the Switch and then upped the Switch. That's what you're telling me, bro. Yo, what's good, everybody? This video is titled Kid Shoots Dad Over Nintendo Switch by Maury. Let's go ahead and get into it.
All right, so here we have this little 11-year-old who apparently shot his dad over him taking his Nintendo Switch. Yes, you heard that, right?
Yo, I heard like a story in the past about a situation. I seen a kid, he low-key like offed his mom over the Nintendo Switch. I don't know what it is, bro, but these kids are different.
This spoiled little brat, as you can see here on our screens right now that I'm, circling with my cursor, who is 11 years old, is now charged as an adult after fatally shooting his father over taking his Nintendo Switch. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this isn't even Gen Z anymore.
How did this kid have access to a weapon to do this?
I'm not gonna blame Gen Z for this because he's too young to be Gen Z. Believe it or not,
he's Gen Alpha, bro.
Most of Gen Z are now adults, young adults now. This is Gen Alpha. And I just gotta say, as bad as people think,
they're not even iPad kids, Coco Melon kids. Yo, that's what we about to call Gen Alpha, Coco Melon kids, bro.
Gen Z is brother in Christ, Gen Alpha, and then Gen Beta after them. Gen Beta are basically infants right now, are probably gonna be uncomparable.
We already on Gen Beta? I thought Gen Alpha just started.
To our generation. And by the way, if I sound a little congested right now, it is because I am. Apologies, I'm still recovering from my illness. But I just gotta say, I've never heard, this is the first time I've heard of
Peyton, you're 13? Cap, there's no way you're 13.
any kid shooting their dad over a Nintendo Switch. Now,
Never
maybe
that serious.
In the past, somebody has killed their parent over taking their phone, their computer, grounding them, in some way, shape, or form. But specifically for a Nintendo Switch, it's crazy. And yeah, you guys can see the dad right here in this post. It's just insane.
The family was in this home celebrating their son's 11th birthday. That's when court documents say...
Wait, that was on his 11th birthday?
Son found a gun and shot...
Unpopular opinion, bro. This is why you have to discipline your kids. Because what would make him think that it's appropriate to pull a gun out? And how does a kid have access? They don't have a gun safe? Like, bro, what are we doing?
Adopted father. This happened Tuesday around 3 a.m. When state police arrived, the young boy named Clayton Dietz had a bloody lip and injuries around his eye. Court documents do not explain how he was hurt. The documents do say, however, that Clayton was looking for his Nintendo Switch, which was taken away from him when he found the revolver in a safe inside the home.
How did he just get... It was no combination on the safe? Hold on, so he took the Switch and then upped the Switch. That's what you're telling me, bro.
Just gotta say, I don't know what caused his facial injuries. They say that he had a swollen lip.
It sounds like he maybe got in a fight with his dad or something. I don't know.
Or something like that, a bloody eye. Kind of sounds like abuse to me, but let's be honest here, because I don't want to make any definitive assumptions. Could have been abuse, could have been self-inflicted. We don't know. There's a lot of crazy people, crazy kids in society. But I just gotta say, how could you...
Whenever I see stories like this of like kids or people who grow up to be like murderers and like psychopaths and stuff, imagine like how it was seeing that kid as an infant, helpless. You're not thinking anything of it. They're happy to have a kid, and then 11 years later, he just ends up popping his parents.
Possibly go from getting your Nintendo Switch taken away from you because you were maybe acting bad. Maybe on top of that also getting a whooping because you're a problem child. To then all of a sudden thinking that it would be a bright idea to gun down your dad or your adopted dad in the situation. So wherever the real father is, he's still alive. The stepdad.
That wasn't even his actual father? Oh, bro, what? Adopted dad got clapped by... Wow, that's crazy.
Daddy who stepped up to take care of this child.
That's a whole different level of audacity, bro.
I took the Switch, so the son grabbed the Switch and switched them on down. This is crazy.
Troopers say that he then took the gun and shot his father in bed next to his mother.
Yeah, moral of the story, don't be a fucking stepdad.
42-year-old Douglas Dietz was found dead. In the interview room, his wife said she woke up to the sound of a gunshot. Then her son confessed to her, saying, quote, "I killed my dad. I hate myself," end quote.
Wow.
Wait, how did he kill? Did he kill him when he was asleep?
That reminds me of...
I want to kill my mom. I want to kill my dad. I want to kill my grandma.
This is why you have to watch these little kids nowadays, man. Just literally grounding them over bad behavior can possibly lead to you being in the ground yourself because they want to kill you. Like, I can't believe this little right here, the spoiled, entitled brat really upped the poll on his stepdad, who probably got him the Nintendo Switch too, just because he took it away temporarily. Honestly, for one, this is why I would never leave any guns like just laying around casually to where a sick child like this can have access to it. Number two, respectfully, I'm probably never going to become a stepdad unless I raised you since you were a little baby and I like instilled all my values into you. If I come
even then, what the fuck?
Later in your life, I can't trust you. I'm sorry. Respectfully, whatever
Oh my
traumas
God.
you have from your dad or your mom, unbeknownst to me, can have me killed or clapped because you feel some type of way. You want to crash out because
Do you think like whooping your kids would straighten a kid out to not do some bullshit? Or do you think it's just rooted in his brain, like psychology to be this monster, bro? His life is cooked before it even started. Like he just got a consciousness, gang. 11. What is he in? Like elementary school or something? As long as you don't do it in anger, discipline them with sternness. Facts. Because I'm just thinking like what would lead it? I can't put myself in that mentality, bro. I'm dead ass trying to think like what was going through his mind. Like I can't put myself in his thought process, bro.
I grounded you and took your Nintendo Switch away. Bro, not saying a kid I raised from the inception of him popping out of my
Like, do you know how angry you have to be to do some shit like that?
woman's womb couldn't possibly clap me either. But I'm just saying the probability is drastically lower. And the crazy thing is, check this out.
Before the shooting, she told troopers that they put their son to bed while singing happy birthday to him. Neighbors who knew the family say this violence was very out of character for the young boy.
Oh, they always say out
Wow.
of character. Yeah. Oh, he was a good boy. There were no signs.
Yeah, there was no signs, and then he was just punching on trees and beating up kids and. Oh nah, bro. This kid is crazy.
Before he was
That's that gentle parenting, bro.
sweet child. Anytime one of these kids kills, claps someone, ups the poll on someone, they want to say they were the sweetest child on honor roll. They were going to be a doctor, a scientist. They had such a bright future ahead of them. Yeah, right. Now, one comment I do want to point out, someone said, are they just going to gloss over the fact that the kid was injured? Like, did the parents exclude the fact that they beat him previously, or did he get beat after shooting the father before enforcement came? How the F you're going to say something like that and not document it in court? Yeah.
Nah,
So
facts.
that is a good point right there. I don't know. Speculatively, he could have been
Well,
abused.
so I mean, a lot of kids in like foster care, they do get abused. I will say that. That is true. But even then, that doesn't warrant you getting a gun and shooting and killing them, bro. Well, then again, when you're 11, you probably not even thinking about it like that. If his eyes were bruised, do you think he got punched in the face? What would have warranted this behavior on his birthday to get punched in the face? Like, this is so crazy of a situation. Like, how do we even get here, bro?
Which would then presumably lead to him possibly shooting his stepfather in the night. Now, obviously, that's just a huge assumption. That is just pure speculation. And it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility for a kid sick enough to shoot his stepdad, in the dead of night with a gun to possibly end up having self-inflicted wounds to make it look like he was being abused. Like, there are psychotic people out there who
All right,
will
how do you get your Switch taken on your own birthday, bro?
fake injuries, run their faces into hard objects to make it as if they were previously hurt by another individual. So I would not be shocked. You
Is this kid that smart to do that though?
guys can have your opinions in the comment section.
You think this kid is
What do you
that
think about
calculated?
that? Obviously, they're gonna
You
have
think he's that calculated to like punch his face in and just make it seem like it was self-defense?
to investigate whether this kid was being abused in that household or not. And if they can verify that, then that'll literally just change the entire optics of the story. Assuming he's not like clinically crazy, but still at face value, a kid killing his dad, his stepdad, whatever, same shit. His guardian over what they're saying was over a confiscated Nintendo Switch is crazy.
But according to court documents, Clayton's mom says he was upset when he was told to go to bed and had his Nintendo Switch taken away. He admitted to police that he got the key to the gun from his father's drawer.
So this was literally
What? So he knew where the gun was?
premeditated. It's not like this was an accident. There's no way a gun just magically fell inside his hands.
Oh, over Thanksgiving, I went to a friend's house and some kid was there saying she used to do that when she was young. She would bite herself to get her brother in trouble. That is absolutely diabolical, bro. There is some kids that are too smart for their own good and they be thinking like that. They be very like sociopathic, but actually murdering somebody, bro. A lot of those kids, if you're smart enough to think about injuring yourself and doing all this stuff, you would think to not actually murder somebody.
Gun that was stored inside of a case
If you would injure yourself, call the police and then blame them for abuse.
that required a key. It's not like this kid just woke up. He was a sleepwalker, had the gun gun magically in his hand and just accidentally shot his dad in the head. Like, no. This was a very cynical, calculatedly cold, premeditated, all the words to describe someone planning something out in this cold-blooded fashion. And one commenter says, these kids don't know how to regulate their emotions. I got mad at my parents growing up, but the thought of annihilation never crossed my mind. There are some evil, abusive, negligent parents out there, individuals who thrive off of others' suffering. I'm not saying these parents are this type, but they are out there. Valid. So, you know, through this investigation with this child and his mother, we're gonna see if they were actually abusing him or not. Time will tell.
Oh, they put him through an investigation?
That is when police say the boy told them that he went inside that safe looking for his Nintendo Switch and instead got the gun, took it out, and allegedly shot his father.
What the fuck? So you, oh, that's not a Switch. Well, let me use, since I got the in my hand, I might as well use it, right? Why would they put a Nintendo Switch in the safe? Bro, I'm not gonna lie. This kid he's lying. Bro, let me tell you something. My little brother, he was a little too smart for his own good. Do you know what he would do? My mom would take the power cord to his Xbox. Do you know what he would do? He was like in middle school. He was a little bit older than 11. But he would wait till my mom fell asleep. Like 3, 4 in the morning. He would creep into her room, take the cord back, and then play the game, and then put the cord back before she woke up. Well, the gun was just in my hand, so I just thought to use it. Like, what?
In the head.
Bruh. Whoa. So, wow. I don't know what to say about that specifically, but clearly this kid was crazy. There's no way unless I was severely abused as a child, like repeatedly for years, would I ever have the gall to even go looking for my Nintendo Switch, thinking it's in a case, locked, get the key, unlock it, find that there's not a Nintendo Switch in there, but a gun, and in my annoyance or anger, decide to then pick up that gun, cock it, aim it at my dad's head, and bang. That's clearly not normal.
Insanity.
When a juvenile is charged with murder, they automatically begin as charged as an adult.
Ooh.
Which is the case for Clayton right now, but that could change through what's called decertification.
And decertification is a filing where the defense tries to say the individual should be prosecuted in the juvenile justice system for a variety of reasons.
That's up to a judge, and whatever they decide will make a huge difference.
I'm gonna keep it a buck. Keep that kid tried as an adult. Hell no. Hell no, bro. You don't see other kids when they get in situations like that get the same treatment, bro. We see this all the time where kids will get in, you know, gang related crimes and shit like that, and they will get treated as adults, bro. Well, maybe he was troubled and blah blah blah. Well, sorry. Like that, yeah, literally. They're gonna, because he's white, they're gonna try to give him some type of ass.
Ladies and gentlemen, I just gotta say this is a crazy ass case, and yeah, this is making me not want to have kids. Like, I know that I'm probably gonna be a fantastic father, of course. I'm gonna be loving, caring, and all the sweet little things, but I'm also gonna be strict. We're gonna have a tight program, and I'm probably not gonna raise my kids along the lines of public schooling with the majority population's kids. I don't trust people.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. You know who's like good parents, but they're like really hard on their kids? Military parents. They make them sit against the wall. If their kids buck up to them, then they have to assert that authority, but yet they're still kind and sweet to them. And they have to listen. I'm telling you, them kids be listening to them parents, bro. They do not fuck around with those military parents or they will get on their ass.
Raising their kids and my kids being around them, I'm sorry. I'm already cynical as it is right now as an individual grown man with no kids. So yeah, it's either going to be a very vetted and thoroughly vetted private school that I, am heavily...
Nah, even them private schools is not the answer, bro. These private school kids are just as bad. You ever see these kids that go to school, like an all boys school or an all girls school? They be wilding out too. That's not a surefire way for anything.
Involved in or homeschool. Definitely, there are too many sickos and wild people running around in society who shouldn't be having kids. They're reproducing, and then those traits are being passed along to their kids. And yeah, I'm just not taking the chance. But ladies and gentlemen, what do you think about this?
Insanity. I mean, this kid just needs to be tried. Because why would you as an 11-year-old, why would you have the audacity to even do that to your parents? Like, what makes you feel like you could step up to them, especially with a weapon?